All right, good afternoon, everybody. My name is Alec Johnson. I am the solution engineer, head of industry here at Ecos, and real excited today to be talking to everybody about data, everybody's favorite topic. I know it's one of my favorite topics. So today we're going to be going over cultivating competitive edge, unveiling the power of data insights. Before we get started, first want to thank Andrew and thank everybody at CBP for the opportunity to talk on this topic. I'm real passionate about it. Data, as we all seen, industry has changed a lot. I've been in the industry for almost 10 years, and it's changed a lot. And just being able to have data at your fingertips and be able to get the information that you need to help your company grow is crucial going forward. So really want to try to make data sound as fun as it can. So with that, we'll go ahead and get started. So first, I know I've already introduced myself a little bit, but do want to do that again. I am Alec Johnson, solution engineer, head of industry here at Ecos. So Ecos is an inventory management software platform. I've been with them for almost 10 years now. So I've done pretty much every role at the company. I started in support where there was 3 of us. It was our 2 co-founders, 1 developer, and then myself getting started. You always hear those stories about startups starting in a garage. We actually started in a garage. And it actually worked out great because my desk was right by the garage door. So on nice days, we would pop open a couple beers and enjoy the scenery of an office park in North Charlotte. But going forward, if anybody does have any questions or wants to reach out to me, I've included my email below. It's pretty simple, alec@goecos.com. All right, so for the agenda today, we're going to go over 6 topics. So the first topic is going to be what is data? Second, we'll go over the different types of data. Third, we'll go over why data is important. Fourth, we'll go over how to leverage your data. Fifth, we'll go over implementing a data strategy. And then finally, we'll finish up on getting that edge for your brewery. So what is data? I know this is a very loaded question that can go 100 different ways. I was talking to my 6-year-old son about data last night, and his version of data is being able to watch his shows on Netflix, Paw Patrol, Bluey, Cocomelon, all of that stuff. That's what he thinks data is. So for this presentation, we won't talk about that. We'll obviously gear it towards brewery. But as everybody knows, data can be overwhelming. There's tons of different spots where you can collect data. We're really focused on these 3. These are the 3 different types of data tracks that I see the most. It's going to be your raw data. So that's going to be unprocessed information collected directly from a specific source. Your processed data. So that's going to be information that has been organized, analyzed, or transformed to become more useful. And then there's big data. So that's going to be large volumes of data that can be analyzed and then computed so it reveals patterns, trends, and associations. So we're really focused to start on these 8 different types of data to track. So really gear this towards the breweries, focusing on inventory, production, sales, finance, focus on compliance, operational, CRM, so your customer relation management, and then also reporting and analytics. So we'll start on the inventory side. So lots of different inventory data that you'll be able to track. The main ones that we see is going to be the raw material inventory. So think of your hops, your grain, your malt, any raw ingredients, packaging materials that may be coming in that you're using to produce and finish your product. Your finished good inventory, so the cans, the kegs, the bottles, anything that you will package into that finished good. On the packaging material inventory, the keg caps, the keg collars, the actual lids, labels, whatever component that you're using to create that finished good. And then also inventory valuation. So knowing what that specific inventory is costing you as you bring it in and produce it. On the production side, production data, so your batch records, so tracking your pH, cell count, ABV, any taste, aroma notes that you may have. Brewing schedules, so Planning out what batches you're going to produce in advance, so you're able to see what day, what time, what week, what month those batches are getting produced. Ingredient usage and inventory. So the usage, planning when you are going to run out of inventory, so that way you'll know when to reorder more, so you can ultimately fulfill your future batches. And then on the production side, production costs. So how much is it costing you to bring in your inventory? How much is it costing you to produce those finished goods in labor, overhead, utilities? I want to make sure you do track all of that. On the sales side, sales data, so your sales orders and inventory receipts. So creating those orders and then seeing what inventory you do have available so you can ultimately fulfill those future orders. Customer information and sales history, being able to track what your customer has purchased from you in the past, seeing how much of that specific product they've ordered from you, whether it's in a week format, month format, year format. Sales by product and category. So breaking down those sales histories and then seeing, okay, which product is selling, which category is selling. And then sales channel performance. So is there certain areas that you're selling better into with a specific product or a specific packaging type as well? On the financial side, financial data, so your revenue and expenses. So as my good friend Chris Farman always says, tracking what you're bringing in versus what is coming out as well. Profit and loss statement. So what is it costing you to make that product? Are you making money? Are you losing money? Your cost of goods sold. So again, seeing how much from start to finish it's actually costing you. And then the budget versus actual financial performance. So what is the budget you set? Are you sticking to that based on past performance? Are you sticking to it based on projected performance as well? On the compliance side, everybody's favorite, the tax filing and reporting. So whether it's the federal, your TTB reports, or it's your specific state reports. Again, who doesn't love doing those specific reports, whether it's monthly, quarterly, annually? Production and inventory records for that specific regulatory compliance. Making sure you have those records so that way, if the government does come knocking on your door, you can give them the correct information and you won't have them breathing down your neck multiple times. Customer relationship management data. So customer contact information. So being able to track customer names, account information, what their interests are, priorities, sales interactions, and follow-ups. So getting that data from the actual customer. What do they like? What do they want to see from you? What sales or what you're selling them, is that actually what they want to see? And then customer preference and purchase history. So again, seeing what they purchased in the past. Maybe they have a specific IPA that they love from you, or a different product, seasonal, being able to track those preferences and history from them. Operational data, so task management and assignments. So having this information, the data is going to help you and the team become more efficient, production efficiency and downtime, and then equipment maintenance records. So knowing when that maintenance has occurred to ensure that everything is going to continue to run smoothly. And then we'll finish up on the reporting and analytics side. This is my personal favorite. So the customizable reports and dashboards, turning that data into something tangible. So you have all that data out there. You want to turn it into reports, dashboards, so that way you can visually see the data. Your KPIs, the key performance indicators, and then also trends and analysis and forecasting. So based on that data, seeing if you're trending where you want to be, where you should be, or where you expect to be. And again, being able to see that in a visually friendly format will just be able to, you'll be able to comprehend that data a lot better. All right. So the next slide we'll go why is this tracking, why tracking data is going to be important. So we're going to break down why each type of data is going to be important and critical for your specific company. Start on the inventory side. So On the inventory, you want to make sure you have accurate data on the raw materials, work in progress, and also finished goods. So that way it helps manage your stock levels, prevents shortages, reduce waste. Knowing what you have so you can produce what you need to produce in the time frame that you need to produce it, and then you don't run out of materials, or you're not stuck with extra inventory that you don't want to do. You don't want to run out of inventory. That's going to slow or ultimately stop the process. And you don't want to have too much inventory, because then you're sitting on inventory that you won't be able to use. That's going to ensure that you do have the right ingredients on hand when you need it. On the production side, so for production planning, data, that's going to help you plan and schedule production efficiently. So that way it's going to ensure that your brewery operations run smoothly and that all products are available when they're needed. So planning in advance so you know what's coming, when, and then where, and then also when you need to reorder more. And that can go for anything. That can go for items, ingredients, so your raw ingredients, your hops, your grain, your malt, packaging materials, cans, kegs, bottles. Want to make sure everything's lining up. It's going to help you forecast demand and then also align production schedules accordingly. So as you bring in team members, you're not overstaffed or understaffed. Again, seeing what's coming in, what's coming out for a specific day, week, month. If you even want to break it down to the hour, do that as well. On the cost side, cost control. So by tracking data on costs related to those specific ingredients, packaging materials, labor, overhead, you're able to easily identify areas where you can save money. So how much is it costing you to make that beer? Be able to track all of that information you can get. So that way you are able to make a profit, and then you're making sure you're making money on that specific beer that you are producing. So again, this detailed cost tracking going to help you in setting competitive pricing while maintaining profitability. Again, that's the end goal. You want to make sure that beer is profitable to make. So it could be the best tasting beer ever, but if you're not making any money on it, if you're losing money on it, probably not the best idea to continue making it at that specific level with those specific ingredients. May have to swap out some ingredients to get it under, or get that cost under control. Next, we'll focus on the quality control. So data on brewing processes, batch consistency, and then quality control tests. That's going to ensure that each batch meets the required standards that you have set for your team, or that the government has set specifically. So again, whether it's your team setting those standards or somebody else, you want to track your QA, QC, so that way you are tracking consistency. That's the key thing, consistency. If someone walks into your brewery today on the 25th of September, if they walk in a month later on the 25th of October, they're going to expect that beer to taste the same, if not maybe just a little off, depending on the ingredients that you use. Again, it's going to help maintain product quality and then customer satisfaction, so that way they do continue to keep coming back. On the sales and distribution side, so tracking sales data, that's going to help you identify trends, manage your customer relationships, and also optimize distribution. So you are able to know who's buying what, when are they buying it, how much of it are they buying of it as well. It's going to allow you to understand which products are performing well, and then adjust your specific strategies accordingly. Keep building those relationships with your customer base, knowing again what they're purchasing from you, what they're seeing out in the marketplace, so you can tailor that to what they're seeing and what they want to view as well. Jump into compliance and reporting next. So we all know breweries must comply with various regulations, obviously with the federal, TTB, and then each specific state has their own excise tax requirements. And that's going to be related to production, safety, taxation. Again, you just want to make sure that you stay compliant. So you don't want the state or the Fed knocking on your door. Tracking data, it's going to ensure that all the necessary reports can be generated and submitted as required. keeping everything into one centralized location. That's one of my key taglines, is getting people out of multiple spreadsheets or multiple whiteboards, getting everything in one centralized location where you have it and you can populate it as need be. On the business insight side, data is going to provide insights into those various aspects of the business, allowing you to make informed decisions. So when you make those decisions, you want to make sure you have all the information available to you to make the correct decisions for your company. Having the data, it's going to allow you to make those informed decisions. So you're able to analyze data trends. What that can do, that can reveal opportunities for growth, areas that may need improvement, then also potential market shifts. So as we talked previously on the sales side, maybe you have a product that was selling great last year, but for some reason, it's just not selling that well. Having that information from your customers will help you build out your schedule going forward. And if that product needs to jump off, or if maybe we need to tweak it, or put a different product in, have that ability to do so. Customer relationship management. So tracking those customer interactions, preferences, and purchasing behavior, that's really going to help build better relationships and then tailor the marketing efforts to meet your customer needs. So this is where it's imperative to talk to your specific customers or leads. That's going to help, again, tailor what they like. So ultimately, you can produce that, get that out to the customers, and then sell more product going forward. Efficiency and automation. So automating the data collection and analyzing that, it's going to reduce the manual effort, minimize the errors that could occur, and then also improve your overall efficiency. So again, keeping it in one centralized location will help keep everything and everybody on track. You're not having to go walk down the brewery to get a piece of paper from another employee, or if someone's out on vacation or out at home, again, you don't have to call them up to get the information. It's all going to be in one centralized location. You really want your team to focus on the more strategic tasks rather than the administrative ones. Focus on the right things that they need to be focusing on. Because again, if it is in multiple locations or multiple people have actually physically touched it, it's really easy to get lost or damaged or destroyed. And then the final one is going to be financial performance. So regularly tracking that financial data, including your revenue, expenses, profitability, what that will do, that's going to provide a clear picture of the brewery's financial health. It's going to aid in budgeting, financial planning, and then also investment decisions. It really allows you to see where you're at, where you need to be. I know sometimes that can be scary. A lot of people don't want to see where they're at or don't want to know, but it's really going to be beneficial to have that information at your fingertips and know, okay, this is where I'm trending. These are the changes that we need to implement to go to the next level. Or if everything's going good, okay, this is what we need to continue to do so we can continue to build on these great results that we've had. All right. Next topic we'll jump into is, how do you leverage that data? So we've gone over the different types of data. We know why it's important. You have that data now. Now, what are you going to do with that data? How do you leverage it to get the most use out of it? So we'll start on the production side. So with production efficiency. So really the three key ones that I've seen are going to be the inventory management, quality control, and then predictive maintenance. So on that inventory side, you'll really want to use that data to track your raw materials, your packaging materials, and again, raw materials, your finished goods, or excuse me, your hops, your grain, your malt, packaging materials, your kegs, cans, bottles, and also the finished products, the beer that's in the kegs, the beer that's in the cans, in the bottles. That's really going to help in optimizing stock levels and then also reducing waste along the way. On the quality side, your quality control, being able to monitor data from the production process to maintain consistent quality. You want to track your fermentation logs, your conditioning logs, your brew logs, sanitation logs. You track that information so that way you're able to analyze specific metrics. So such as the temperature, fermentation time, pH levels, ABV. As you track that batch over batch over batch, you'll be able to see specific trends going forward. So again, if you need to make any tweaks, maybe it needs to stay in longer or go out quicker, you'll have that data at your fingertips. So that way you're able to make informed decisions on there. And then the predictive maintenance. So having that data, being able to use that data from specific equipment sensors to predict and prevent breakdowns. So that way you're ensuring smooth operations. That is something you do not want. You do not want to have maintenance, something break down, and then you can't produce the product. I've heard horror stories from a lot of breweries where, hey, they had to go down for a little bit and it put them in a huge bind. So having this predictive maintenance is going to help you hopefully prevent future breakdowns, or at least give you the information to schedule those maintenance at optimal times. On the sales and marketing side, we have the customer insights, targeted marketing, and also sales forecasting as well. So with customer insights, that data is going to allow you to, with the data, you'll be able to analyze it to understand customer preferences and buying patterns. So you're able to see what your customers are purchasing, and you can break that down by, filter it by region, location, whether it's an on-premise account, off-premise account, whatever it may be. That way it's going to inform product marketing, and then marketing or product development, and then also marketing strategies as well. Targeted marketing, you're able to use data to segment customers and then tailor marketing campaigns to specific demographics or different buying behaviors. So you can see who to target based on a location, based on a date, whatever it may be. So an example of that is, I travel all over the country. I've been from Portland, Maine to Portland, Oregon, Miami, Florida to Vancouver, British Columbia. All of those are different markets with different buying power and different palates. So you want to make sure that you're targeting that specific product to your specific clientele. And then with sales forecasting, you're able to utilize historical sales data to predict future trends, and then also plan production and inventory accordingly. So maybe a certain location likes certain products. If you're down south in the summer, lagers, light beers. You go up north in the winter, maybe you want a stout, barley wine, heavy IPA. Really using that data, seeing what's been selling well previously, so that way you can get ahead of the curve, get that on the production schedule, and then get your products out to your customers. Next, on the financial side with financial management, really two that I want to focus on today is the cost analysis and then your profit margins. So with cost analysis, being able to track all of your expenses. So that can be related to ingredients, labor, overhead, analyzing that data, that's really going to help you identify cost-saving opportunities. Now, on like the ingredient side, you're really able to track that within an inventory management software. Labor and overhead, I've heard kind of conflicting reports with a lot of the accountants that I've talked to. Obviously, you can track that within an inventory software, but we do see a lot of the financial accountants that we work with, they like to track that within the specific financial software. Again, I would really just lean on your accountant's recommendation on how you would like to track that. And then with profit margins, you are able to evaluate the profitability of different products and then identify the most and least profitable lines. So again, I'll go back to this. Even if it is the best beer in the world, we'll use an IPA for an example because those seem to be the very costly ones. So if it's the best IPA in the world, but you are just paying an arm and a leg for it, and you can't get it to the price point where it's making you money, then you probably shouldn't brew it how it is. I'm not saying completely get it off the schedule, but maybe swap out different hop. Maybe you can get a cheaper hop or a cheaper product, get that in there. So again, that way you're able to make a profit off of that particular beer. On the CRM side, so your customer relationship management, loyalty programs, and then feedback analysis. So loyalty programs, again, as I mentioned earlier, I do travel a lot and I take advantage of this. So I go to a lot of breweries. I think I've been to almost 1,000 breweries in my lifetime, which is kind of sad when you think about it, but kind of cool as well. I've been to a lot. So a lot of the breweries that I go to, they've implemented data-driven loyalty programs. So that way it's going to reward repeat customers and then also increase retention. So again, this is really dependent on the state that you're in. So whether it's buy X amount, get Y amount free, or if your state allows to do a happy hour, again, really depends on the specific state that you're in. But having that, so it drives people to come back. That's the name of the game. Get that repeat customer coming back in and purchasing more of your products. We see a lot of the breweries, they're able to track this within their point of sale system, but there is also other ways that they are able to track it. And then on the feedback side, so you want to make sure you're collecting and analyzing customer feedback to improve products and services. So see what that customer wants. Again, on the front of house side, that can be whether it's you join an email list and you get a survey after you've been there. How did you like this product? Or whether it's you're actually visiting accounts, making site visits, calls, getting that data specifically from the source. So that way you can plug that in so you have that information at your fingertips. Next, we'll jump into the supply chain optimization. So we'll focus on the supplier performance and also demand planning as well. So with that supplier performance, being able to track and evaluate supplier performance based on delivery times, quality, cost, really understanding what your customers are purchasing. So that will allow you to plan ahead, and that kind of dovetails into the demand planning. So using your sales and marketing data, so you are able to predict demand and then plan the supply chain accordingly. Again, kind of the circle of life. You bring the inventory in, you use that inventory to produce the finished goods, you sell the finished goods, and then you start all over. Now you'll have that set time where it's going to take you, 20 days to produce a beer, 19 days, 21 days, whatever it may be. Having this information so you can plan those batches out in advance. So you get that information so you know when you are able to create that finished good, and then you can forecast when you are planning to sell that finished good as well. The compliance side. So your regulatory compliance, traceability, and then also reporting as well. So with traceability, you want to make sure that you maintain accurate records of the ingredients and batches to ensure traceability and compliance within regulation. Now that can entail using lot tracking. So tracking those raw ingredients or finished goods on a lot by lot basis. So you can see when that material came in and make sure it's still in code when you go to produce that product. On the reporting side, you want to use that data to streamline the preparation of mandatory reports for the specific regulatory bodies. Again, with the TTB, with the excise tax, that we see it all the time. It takes people days, if not, or hours, if not days, trying to get that report built out. And then if you have all that data in a specific system, again, a couple clicks of the button, you'll get that information that you need right away. And then finally, we'll finish up on the innovation and development side. So you have your R&D and then also pilot testing. So I think sometimes, we just got to remember that we're in the beer industry. Things are fun. You just want to make sure, keep it creative, keep it fun. That's why the majority of us got into this industry, because we like when breweries are, or me personally, I'll speak for myself. I like when breweries keep putting out new products and I can try a new thing. One of my favorite things in the world is when I get to travel and I go to a brewery that I've been to previously, but then I go there and they have a new beer that they just tapped, or you know, it's a beer that they've had before, but I wasn't there to have it, and I get to try it. So keep trying new things, be creative, you know, leverage the data that you have from your market research and then customer feedback to drive innovation in your product development. So I know I'm going out to Vancouver, Canada, and Seattle, Washington next month. So I'm hoping that we still have some fresh hop beers. I know a lot of our West Coast breweries, they're getting real creative on how they're doing their fresh hops this year. So hopefully there's still a few that I can try. And then on the pilot side, use the data that you have to analyze the outcomes of pilot tests for new products and new processes. If you have the ability to, keep trying out new products. I know one of my colleagues at Ecos, he used to work at Allagash. They have a specific pilot system that they let employees come up with ideas and be able to brew specific beers. And if it's a hit, maybe it can go into the actual production to get out there. But it really, really drives creativity and, you know, lets people get their ideas out there. So again, keep beer fun. That's the main thing on that one. All right. Next is implementing a data strategy. So what I've seen, these are going to be the 5 pillars of implementing that strategy. You have your data collection, you have your data integration, you have your analytics tools, training, and then also the continuous improvement. So with the data collection, you want to make sure that you establish systems for capturing data at every stage of the production and the sales process. So again, tracking in the raw ingredients, packaging materials that are coming in, tracking your batch planning, tracking the production side, tracking the sales. So whether that's sales going out to distributors, self-distribution accounts, or sales through your tap room, you want to make sure you're tracking all of that data. So as you track that month over month, year over year, you're going to be able to implement the strategy based on that data collection. Data integration. So you want to ensure that all the data sources that you use are integrated into a central system for a comprehensive analysis. So making sure that your point of sale system, your inventory management system, your accounting system, it's all going to integrate together. So again, all of that information is flowing and you're getting the right information. Making sure those systems do talk to each other. Analytic tools. Invest in an analytic software that you can process and visualize the data efficiently. So again, it's the old adage that I always use, the data is only good as the amount that you put in. So if it's good data that's going in, you're going to get good data out. If it's garbage data that you're putting in, you're going to get garbage data out. You want to make sure that as you input that information, you're able to visualize it efficiently. Training. So this is, in my opinion, this is one of the most important things of implementing a strategy. So you want to make sure you train your staff on the importance of data and then how to use that analytic tool. So going back to what I just said, if you put garbage into the system, you're going to get garbage out. If you get a system and you don't use it efficiently, you're not going to get everything you want out of it. You want to make sure that everybody on the team is bought into this data strategy, and you tell them the reason why they need to buy in. This is going to help our company grow. This is going to help us get to the goals that we want to accomplish. And then finally, the continuous improvement. So you want to make sure you're constantly improving. So you're regularly reviewing and refining your data strategy based on insights and then based on changing customer needs. So I was talking to Andrew before this and mentioned that I moved down to Charlotte. I live in the Charlotte, North Carolina area, moved down to Charlotte in 2011. What was working on the data side in breweries in 2011 is definitely going to be different than what's going to work in 2024. A lot has changed within those 13, 14 years. So you want to make sure you're continuously reviewing and refining that data. And again, just going with trends and making sure you set yourself up and set the business up on the correct path. All right. Well, we'll finish up on the last part of the section is getting that specific edge for your brewery. So again, everything that we've laid out, you want to make sure that you're leveraging a robust data tracking software that has capabilities. So that way you're able to transform raw data into actionable insights. So that way it's going to drive your brewery success and then also giving you a significant edge within a competitive marketplace. So we'll start off on the operational efficiency. So the three main pillars here are going to be inventory management, production planning, and also cost management as well. So with the inventory side, want to make sure you get an inventory software such as Ecos. What that's going to do, that's going to help you keep precise data so you can keep precise track of those raw materials, packaging materials, finished goods. So that way it's ensuring that you do have the right amount of inventory at the right time. It's going to minimize waste, reduce the risk of running out of key ingredients, and again, essentially keep the ship moving, to use an analogy. You want to make sure you track all of that production weeks in advance. By tracking that production, you are able to optimize your brewery schedules, reduce downtime, also ensure consistent quality in every batch that you do produce. And then finally, on the cost management, being able to get detailed data on production costs. So again, what that can include, that's going to include ingredients, labor, overhead, utilities, whatever you'd like to track. And again, it's going to allow you to identify cost-saving opportunities so you can manage your budget more efficiently. Better decision-making. So with this, three pillars we want to talk about is going to be data-driven insights, performance metrics, and then forecasting as well. So with data-driven insights, comprehensive data analytics, we're going to provide insights into sales trends, customer preferences, and also market demands. What this will do, this will help you make informed decisions about product development, marketing strategy, really what we've went over, again, making sure you're getting the right information and the right products to the right people. Performance metrics, so you are able to track your KPIs, the key performance indicators, such as sales volume, profit margin, and production efficiency. That way it's going to help you measure success and then also be able to identify areas for improvement. Because again, you want to make sure you're constantly improving on your metrics. And also with forecasting, predictive analytics, what that will do, that's going to help you anticipate future trends and again, be able to adjust your business strategy accordingly. So that way it's going to ensure that you do stay ahead of your competition. Really, the key part about this is making decisions, making the best decisions based on the data that you have inputted and that you have collected. Enhance customer satisfaction. So with this, I'm going to be talking about order management, quality control, and then feedback integration as well. So with order management, you want to be able to efficiently track all of your customer orders and preferences. What that will allow you to do, that's going to allow you to provide a more personalized and timely service, improving customer satisfaction and loyalty. Quality control. Consistent quality control, that's going to help you maintain the high standards that you have for your specific products, ensuring that your customers receive the same great taste every single time. And then feedback integration. By integrating your customer feedback into your data tracking system, you're able to quickly address issues, improve on offerings based on real-time customer service, and again, implement that information so you can get better going forward. Really, the main takeaway of this specific slide is keeping your customers happy. You want to make sure you keep those customers coming back into the door the next time they're in the area or the next time they're looking to go out to a brewery. The regulatory compliance. So with this, we'll be talking about traceability and then on the reporting side as well. So with traceability, what we'll provide, we're going to provide detailed records of your production process, which is going to be essential for traceability in compliance within the industry regulations. And then reporting. You want to make sure you're streamlining the reporting features, so that way it's going to make it easier to prepare for audits, to comply with local and federal regulations. ultimately, what that's going to do for you, that's going to save you time and then reduce the risk of non-compliance penalties. So having that data, you're able to drill into that data. You can drill into those specific numbers so you can see where those numbers came from. So that way, if everything looks great, perfect, I can print this off, save it, or print it off, send it off to the government, or grab the numbers and put it on the pay.gov site. Really getting all that data into the reports, into those dashboards, so that way you are able to see it, see where you're trending, and again, see it in a more visually friendly chart and graph format. And then finally, will be the market competitiveness. So here we'll talk about benchmarking and then scalability as well. So on the benchmarking side, being able to compare your performance against industry benchmarks, what that will do, that's going to help you understand where you stand relative to your competitors, and then identify best practices to adopt. Maybe it's a certain trend. I remember the cold IPA. I know there's still cold IPAs, but I remember when that trend came to be. It obviously hit on the West Coast first, so we saw a lot of East Coast breweries jumping on that. They can kind of see the trends as they're coming. Scalability. As your business grows, we're going to scale with you. So we're going to provide the tools, the data that you need, so you're able to manage increased production and then increase sales volume efficiently. So I'll leave you with this. Everybody knows it's a wild market out there. Again, as I mentioned earlier, I've been in it for 10 years. So started in 2015, almost 10 years now. Seen a lot of changes, but you just want to make sure that you're putting yourself in the best position possible to go forward. Because again, I'll speak for myself here. I want to see all these breweries thrive, so that way when I do come to your city, that I'll be able to try your beer going forward. All right. Well, again, want to thank Andrew for the opportunity to speak on data. Hope I left you with some nuggets to go forward. Hopefully it was insightful for you. Again, something I'm pretty passionate about. Really just wanted to get that information out to everybody. And again, if you do have any questions on this or just anything in general, feel free to reach out to me. Email is just alec@goecos.com. Be happy to strike up a chat. Or if you're located in an area that I'm traveling to, we usually post that on our social media pages. Would love to grab a beer in the future. All right. Well, I appreciate the time, everybody. And again, let me know if you have any questions. Thank you.